Hi again. Happy again to be going live. For those who haven't seen these before, I'm Yoni Ejo, and I'll give you a couple of seconds just to make sure that we're up and ready. Okay, so I'm Yoni, and I am. Let me take these out for the moment because I'm expecting to. I'm a social worker and an adopter, and I also am currently working in a leaving care team. And I wanted to talk to you about the training that we're doing tomorrow and the webinar that you might have seen in the group. So I'm really excited about that. Keely's got some childcare constraints, which means that she's going to join us in a couple of minutes. So if you're watching, just let me know by, and it'd be lovely to hear whether you're an adopter or a foster carer, or if you're watching on the replay, just put A or F in the comments. That would be perfect, so I know who I'm talking to. So we're doing a webinar, and I wanted to sort of start off with why I'm so passionate about training and development for adopters and foster carers. And I guess in my sort of 30 years working with children in care and with adopters and foster carers, I've done a range of mainly in-person training, because that's the way that agencies generally do it, or have done pre-COVID. Looks like Keely's going to join us. Hiya, Keely. Yeah, I was just saying that I was so passionate, and why I was so passionate about training, because really think that training is so important, and I don't think it's always done in the best way in local authorities or in agencies. It's often sort of the emphasis is, rather than what happens post-panel, it's about getting people in and through panel. So yeah, I'm pleased that you're joining us, because we wanted to talk a bit about what's the training that we're doing tomorrow. The 5 ways to increase the attachment of your child, your adopted child. So yeah, do you want to introduce yourself again to anyone who's maybe not watched one of these before?
That's right. Yeah. Hi everyone. My name's Keeley, and I'm a child therapist. I have been for about 14 years now. And yeah, I'm a mum myself, a biological mum. But a lot of my work as a therapist has been supporting children who have lived in foster placements or residential care, or with kinship care, or in adoptive families. So lots of kind of work there, and some work with children who are maybe just been identified at risk. So lots of work there, and I just that kind of really matches up well with the work that Yoni has been doing. So, you know, we kind of both have a really good understanding of what it's like for these children, what their experiences are, and what it's like for families when children come into their lives on this way, and support them in the journeys that they've been on. That's just a little bit about me. I like talking about play a lot, so.
Yeah, me too. And I think if people haven't noticed, and it's so important, I suppose, and I think it's not given the level of importance that in the wider population perhaps that it should do. I don't know what you think about that, Keely.
Yeah, I do. I think it's like a complete. It's like a Cinderella, isn't it? I think it just feels like it's something children do, and in some ways, play by definition is something that doesn't have a purpose, but actually, in that kind of purposeless action, there is actually an awful lot of learning and a lot of benefit for children. And we only think it's something that children do. So it's childish, it doesn't have a purpose, and it's just being silly, and there are other things that are kind of we're told not to be when when we're growing up, and when we become adults. So we just it's right down on the bottom of the list, but play actually is so important for all of us, and maybe actually, during this period of lockdown, maybe we have, noticed in ourselves how important it is for us to play. Play for us will look different. It'll be out, meeting with people and interacting, maybe participating in hobbies, having sports, being creative in lots of different ways. So we are playing, it just looks different. Maybe when now not having those opportunities over the last year, maybe we have kind of noticed how important those parts of our life are as well, what it actually does for us and our well-being. But for children, it's absolutely crucial because it ticks so many of the boxes for them in terms of development, and you know, on Yoni and I's focus, really, we're looking at how important play is in terms of helping children to develop relationships. It's got huge emotional uh, impact. It's got huge impact on terms of how a child develops socially, and all those kind of really connect into how a child develops relationships and how we can use and facilitate play to develop relationships with our children. Where maybe for some children especially, play hasn't been present in their lives very more, or it's been very scarce. Or for a child who's been on a journey to adoption, they most likely have been in several placements before as well. So maybe all those different kind of how much play they got and what kind of play would have changed in every placement as well. They would have had maybe access to toys that they would leave behind. So play can feel very different for those children. But it's still important, and to use it to be able to build up a development and a rapport with another adult can be really important, and play can play a really useful part in that. We seem to have lost Yoni for a moment, so I'll just keep talking for another few minutes and hope Yoni reappears. So play, it has just so many facets to it. And I guess, sometimes we can kind of think of some of them, so if you think about things like, if you're thinking socially, how we kind of play games together, like football or board games, there's a lot of kind of social skills in that, because there's a lot of like negotiation and cooperation, turn taking, so you can see some of that. We know that, play can be used quite a lot, especially with very young children, in terms of developing the language. In fact, that whole kind of formation of language and play actually starts in utero, from when a baby around, I think it's around 20 weeks, can actually start hearing the outside world, so will respond to sounds on the outside. So, for example, a lot of studies have shown, and just a lot of people know anecdotally, that if you kept playing or singing the same song or songs to a baby in utero, that when you sung them those same songs to them when they were born, they would respond to that. They would be already be familiar with that. So that real, that the start of play, and the start of play in terms of like language formation and developing of relationships, starts actually in utero. And we carry on using play to help children to make sense of the world, to develop those relationships and connections with other people in their world. And yeah, it's important. It carries on. It probably, less so as the children get older, but it's in those formative years, play can be a really important part of how a child forms the language. So that's another facet of it as well. Hey, Johnny is back in the room.
Sorry about that. Oh dear.
That's okay. Last night, if you watched us on Insta Live, I was had my phone on a tripod, which took a tumble a couple of times. So tonight, the only night for technical difficulties. So
Absolutely. We're consummate professionals, obviously.
that's fine, yeah.
So sorry about that. Yeah, my my equipment had a bit of a moment.
Yeah, it's not ours. It's the technology.
Absolutely.
Yes, I just while you were away, Yanni, I just been talking a little bit just about different kind of facets of play. I've just been talking about how play and language formation really just starts kind of like in utero and carries on. And that's really helping to start forming a child's relationship with others and their understanding of the world.
Oh, brilliant. Thank
Mhm.
you. I know we were not going to be on long because we just wanted to sort of talk about the course that we do, or the webinar that we're doing tomorrow, and I don't know whether you touched on that
I
yet.
didn't get to that bit.
Okay. So we're doing this webinar. It's up to about an hour long, and it's really looking at the 5 key things that we think will help you, or 5 strategies, or that would help you in building your relationship and the attachment of your adopted child. And what we're going to do as well is give people opportunity for questions, and also give you an opportunity to perhaps work with us in more depth if you find our style and the way that we work is attractive, and you hear about some of the students who've worked with us and what they say about how we work. And I'm really hoping that people in the group will join us. I have posted out the Zoom link in the group, but I will do that again tonight so that you can have a good opportunity to join us. And it's tomorrow. It's 7:30 to 8:30 via Zoom. You won't be showing. I don't know what the technical word is, but we won't be able to see you, but you'll be able to watch us and ask questions and engage through the session. And hopefully you'll learn some really practical tips, and it will give you some opportunities to hear a little bit more about what we do and how we feel that we can help build attachment. Yeah, anything you want to say, Keeley?
Yeah, I just want to say that in the webinar tomorrow, we promised to make it interesting. It is a Friday night, and so it won't be heavy, but it will be interesting. So some of really it's looking about ways on how you can kind of really develop bonds with your children, and there's lots of ways, but we've just picked 5. To really just help you just kind of make those connections, so maybe it's kind of, maybe you find yourself kind of early doors with a child, or maybe you're just kind of like, you've just been matched and you're waiting. So this can be really helpful, these pointers there. Or you might have actually, had, been living as a family for, a while, and you just feel like maybe things are dry, or you want to try something new. And I think always what Yoni and I are trying to do is just to make things accessible and make them practical. So we want this to be kind of things that, we want you to kind of feel skilled up and knowledgeable. So you might kind of come to this and think, I'm not sure, what can I do? I feel like I'm not quite sure how to make these kind of connections. I want to develop a better relationship with my child. I've maybe, if you've been on this journey for a while, I've tried a lot of ways. And, where Yoni and I want to get you to is that, that by the end of this webinar, you will feel more confident. Sorry, sorry, some Adobe player has just kind of taken over. Yanni, can you still see me?
Yes, I can. Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
whole Adobe update completely took
Yeah.
over. Is it a full moon?
I think it must be. I think it must be. So
Anyway, what I want to say is that, that by the end of it, I hope we would have taken you on a journey, and you will feel more confident, and you'll have these, 5 kind of, I don't want to call them strategies, but kind of, ideas that you can use that are practical, they're free, they don't cost anything. You don't need anything special to set them up, but the things that you can take away, that you can try immediately, that hopefully kind of just help to bring more warmth and connection into your relationships with the children, that help them feel more secure, that maybe help you to feel more confident in your parenting. So, we've only got an hour, but
yeah.
I hope in that hour we'll make a good journey together that'll leave you feeling more confident at the end of it. And like Yoni said, there'll be an opportunity to fire some questions at us too. Yeah. So it
Okay.
should be fun.
So join us tomorrow, Friday, 7:30. The link will be in the group, and we really hope we'll see you there. So
Yeah, but to
thanks.
see you.
Thanks. Bye bye.
Bye.